If you're anything like me, you see the success of various comic creators on their crowdfunding projects. You look at that and say, hey, I've got a story to tell. I want to try that. Well, good for you. That's the first step. My name's Preston Poulter, and I've set out to do exactly that. In this series of videos, I'm going to share my experiences with you, my successes, my failures, in the hopes that you will learn and be able to apply these lessons for yourself. Alright, so Guinevere and the Divinity Factory just wrapped up on Kickstarter. Roughly 110% funded, which is great. So I wanted to go over something I was doing on this one that I guess not a lot of other people have done outside of BackerKit. In fact, I may be one of the few people that's ever done this without using BackerKit. But I had a lot of people who, came in and were basically introduced to my work for the first time. And this is my third comic that I've done on Kickstarter. The other two were White Lily issue 1 and 2, which is my series about the two deadliest female fighter pilots in world history. And the next one I'm going to do on Kickstarter will be probably March or April, depending on when the art finishes, and that's going to be White Lily issue 3. So I had a lot of people who were interested in the White Lily issues as well as the Guinevere issues. So what I offered is that if they were receiving, say, 2 copies of Guinevere and the Divinity Factory at their particular reward tier, one regular, one variant cover, they could opt to instead get the variant cover of Guinevere and a regular copy of White Lily issue 1. And then I also would allow them to overpledge a given reward level, and then they could use the credit. They basically use those extra funds as credit towards getting White Lily. And I set forth the prices in my campaign. I'm like, hey, if you want White Lily issue 1, it's going to be, regular cover is going to be $5, variant cover is going to be $15, and White Lily issue 2 is going to be, the same, $5 for the regular, $15 for the variant. And people were asking me, well, how do you keep track of that? So I want to show you what, for instance, what information you can get when the Kickstarter wraps up and how you can translate that to fulfillment. So this is what you can see as the creator when the Kickstarter is all wrapped up. I've redacted this person's name and email address so that you don't see who they are. But we see that they back my project. I see which tier it was. So this person was on the apprentice mage level, and then there's all the rewards to which they're entitled. And you see, okay, so the apprentice mage level costs $28, and shipping to Finland costs another $10. So that means they needed to have pledged $38. But you notice they pledged more than that. They pledged $48 because, again, I advertised they could use that credit towards getting White Lily 1 and 2. So I can tell how much someone has overpledged by using this information here. All right, so we have a screen capture here of the Kickstarter reward process. So I'm going to walk you through putting out a survey. Let's go over here to reward surveys. Boom. Here are all the different levels I did. One of the things I think about Kickstarter as opposed to Indiegogo is I can have these early bird rewards where I can just go for the first 24 hours and I can specify it in terms of time. Indiegogo, to my knowledge, does not allow me to do that. So I'm going to go down here to the apprentice mage level, click create survey, and then here it is, and here's kind of the generic intro message. I'm going to let them change their address. They're entitled to being on the thank you page, so I'm going to type in that question here. You get to watch my really clumsy typing. Your name is, you would like it to appear on the thank you page. There it is. And this is optional. I've had some people who don't want to appear on it, so that's an optional response. And then here we go. Oh wait, I don't want this to be a text question. I want this to be a multiple choice question. Because some people, like I said, wanted, instead of getting Guinevere and the Divinity Factory regular cover, because I know this reward tier, you get both the regular cover and the variant cover. So if they want instead to receive a White Lily, here, let me phrase it this way, instead of, there we go, issue, oh God, I'm so clumsy, I'm so doing this. Instead of the regular cover of her, all right, third time's a charm, cover of Grant, of Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, you may receive. You may receive. And I'm going to go back to the beginning here and put this in caps so they really understand that this isn't an extra thing. This is a instead of thing. And then, all right, I'm going to allow. They should just give me one response here. Multiple responses is where they could pick multiple things. But yeah, so this question will be optional. And then instead of, and they may receive, why is this telling me I'm spelling it wrong? Whatever. So I'm going to come down here. So because they're picking an instead of, they only get one response, and it's optional. So here's White Lily number 1 regular cover or White Lily number 2 regular cover. Boom. And so now for this question, they can indicate what they want. And now I'm also going to go in addition. So this is for the people like the one that I showed you where they over-pledged a given reward tier. So for those people, they can pick and and spend their pricing. And I'm going to show how to that if they want White Lily 1 or 2 regular cover, it's 5, or variant cover, it's 15. And so I'm going to put that here in black and white for people so that they see it. And if someone decides, like they weren't aware that this was something they could do and their pledge is already over for a specified amount, you can contact them privately and just offer them to basically pay a PayPal invoice, and then boom, you put it together with their shipment. Right now, the Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns I'm doing are small enough that I just do the fulfillment myself. Obviously, as you start to get more wildly successful, you need something like BackerKit and third-party fulfillment. But this video and these techniques are good for people who are just doing these small projects and want to offer maximum flexibility. So, all right, here it is: White Lily number 1, regular cover. And I should specify the price here in a minute. White Lily number 1, variant cover. Here we go. Boom. $5, $15, and then I'll add 2 more here. White Lily number 2, regular cover, $5. Variant cover 15. All right, so now this survey captures their name for the thank you page, and there's the survey results there on the right. If they want to swap out White Lily instead of Divinity Factory, and if they're paying extra money to get White Lily, in addition to whatever reward tiers they are entitled to, so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to send it. Look it over one final time. Looks good. Send. Boom, done. And I've had some people ask, well, how do you keep track of this stuff? And really, honestly, it's not that hard when it's a relatively small campaign. Now there are third-party systems, like the biggest one being BackerKit, that makes this process way easier. And for that matter, when it's doing its rewarder surveys, it allows them to just add it on, and they can just select it, and it's really slick. And they could, if we were doing this in BackerKit, go, oh yeah, I want White Lily 1 and 2. That's an extra $20. Boom, here's my credit card. Then BackerKit processes it for you and gives you the money. But that's not free. It's like a setup fee of like $150, I think, or something like that. And they're going to take a percentage of your, basically of your fund. And so for me, it's like $150 plus they wanted like 2% of how much I got, which is $5,500. Well, 2% of that. Let's see, 1% of 5,000 is 50, so 2% is going to be another. So it's like $250, $300, and I'm like, for that, I'll just do it myself. But again, as the projects get bigger, economies of scale start to kick in, and you certainly need a third party in order to help you stay organized. But as I said, if you're just doing this yourself and your projects come in successful, but still in the fairly manageable, $2 200 plus, 2 to 300 backers or less, then there's no reason you can't use this technique to offer people some nice flexibility. Take care. Oh, and by the way, if you want to get in on Guinevere and the Divinity Factory, it is still up on Indiegogo on In Demand. So I will leave that link down in the description for you.